Yangtze River to Chungking, and we're going to board our ship. It's a riverboat, a fairly good-sized one, although not nearly the largest that sails on this particular piece of river. That's the Yangtze River there, and that's our ship there in the center. Right now its name is the Victoria Rose. The first night out of Chungking, we're supposed to have gotten a little bit further along. However, the weather was so foggy that the river authority stopped us from making our first objective. We were supposed to have passed Fengdu in the night, but instead we passed it during the day. Now the reason that this site is interesting is it's the site that most tourists go to. We weren't able to but in the old days this area was believed to be haunted, and if you were going to have to anchor your ship on the Yangtze at night in this area, you would anchor it in the middle of the stream. Nowadays you can see that nobody's afraid to be traveling in this area. There's plenty of river traffic at Fengdu. One of the most fantastic ships that I've ever seen is about to make an appearance. It looks like it must be some sort of floating hotel. I don't think I've ever seen anything exactly like that in person. As we went downstream, we were able to see what a number of folks were doing for a living. Out here we have a bunch of horses that seem to be grazing along the side of the Yangtze. Once again, some horses are packing some kind of produce. These guys are loading the ship with sand, but look how they're doing it. Look closely. They're using a yoke, and they've got buckets on either side, and they're dumping the sand into the ship. This is the first gorge. The sides of that gorge are so close you get the feeling that you could touch both sides of the river with your hands if you just stretched them out.
Coffins up there?
Not this area.
Now we're going to be leaving the Yangtze. Incidentally, that's a microphone there. And we're going to be going up a small tributary through an area called the Little Three Gorges. We had to get off the boat and go up some stairs. Incidentally, getting up those stairs is about the only way to get out of the Yangtze River, and in one place at least, we had to climb 150 stairs to get up and out. This is the little boat that we took up the Little Three Gorges.
The first gorge, it's about 3 kilometers long from this bridge to the top. 3 kilometers. Now our up to this river is named Dani River. D-A-N-I-N-G. Dani River. Dani River. You can see the water is crystal clear. It's clean. So this river rises in the south foot of the Daba Mountain. D-A-B-A. Daba Mountain. Close 250 kilometers southward until near the Yangtze River. This river is the biggest tributary of the Yangtze River. So today we visit the last Three Gorges lying on the lower of this river. Total is more than 35 kilometers. 35 kilometers. 因为这些沙滩在不久的将来要淹掉，淹掉。
像我们啊，你们没有走路，因为他们就用在房子里面。好多米嘅，我諗浸到乜啦？跟住話係我。
The water here is extremely clear, as you're going to be able to see in the next scene. These boys are very enterprising. They've got a bunch of bamboo poles. You can see they've got little orange nets at the end of it. And what they're doing is they're begging. They're getting money from the tourists. You're expected to put some kind of small change in that little net. Now keep in mind, this is January, and that water is not warm. It's cold. It's really cold. So these guys are really working pretty hard for their money. Now in a second you're going to see some holes in the cliff wall. Those holes are important. About 2,000 years ago those would have had beams coming out of them so that they could support a walkway running along the Three Gorges. People could walk along the Little Three Gorges. That walkway extends the whole length of the gorges. Now, you've seen some scenes of what things look like in larger cities, but this will give you a little bit better idea of what things look like in a smaller town. Getting back to the Yangtze now, one of the most interesting things that I discovered was that thousands of years ago, folks used to be buried in tree trunks, hollowed out a little bit on the inside, and you might have one or two or three people in that tree trunk, and then they would hang the coffins. Now, in this particular case, there's a little cleft in the rock up there that you can see, and there's a little cave. And inside that little cave, there are 3 trunks of trees, which are coffins. These are left over from the time when people were hanging these along the Yangtze River Valley. Now, the next scene is a shot of what one of those coffins looks like. It's basically now a petrified tree trunk, and as many as 1, 2, or 3 people might be in that coffin. But in the background in this museum, you can see how people put these things up on the side of the river. You can see the scaffolding, and you can see that they're not only inside caves or clefts in the rock, but also on little platforms like those sidewalks were.
In 70, there used to be a rock, which is about 15 meters above water, 30 meters long, along Yangtze River's main course, divided the Yangtze River into 2 rivers. Current was extremely strong.
Now, the reason that I went to the Yangtze when I did is because they're building a dam just below the gorges. And when that dam is completed, these gorges will be pretty much completely flooded, and about 1 million people are going to be moved away from the river. We visited the dam site, and this happens to be a model depicting what the dam is supposed to look like when it's finished. And it should be finished in just a couple of years, or at least operational in just a couple of years. It will produce hydroelectric power, 12 turbines on one side and 14 on the other. In the middle there are the sluice gates, and the sluice gates operate to release water from the bottom of the dam in a hope that it'll purge the silt from the dam to keep it from silting up. To the right there, now in the center of the screen, there's a small ship elevator. Ships as large as the Victoria Rose would be able to take this elevator up instead of going through the standard lock system. This would get you from one part of the river to another in about half an hour, as opposed to the locks, which would take 2 or 3 hours to get you from one to the other. And now in the picture is the lock system itself. While we were there, we did see, while the construction was proceeding, although it was quite foggy, and we were able to take some pictures. The next scene is a picture of the actual lock, the way that it was the day that we arrived. And the lock gates are, for many of the locks, already up. And there's the lock gate. The dam is supposed to be primarily for flood control. The Yangtze does flood pretty often and pretty badly, but it's also going to generate an awful lot of electricity, and it'll provide a certain amount of water for irrigation. This is a map of China, of course, and in the center of the map is the dam, and approximately where it and the river are. And one of the things that you're going to see in a second is that there's a circle of red lights that surround this area, showing how much electricity they're going to be providing to the local area. Also, look at that yellow line that's going north. There's also one a little bit further to the east. Those are aqueducts going up to Beijing. Visiting the dam site pretty much concludes the trip to China. From the dam site, we flew back to Beijing, and from Beijing back to Chicago and then Dulles.